this week's topic is admins explained. So we'll go over the different levels of admins and their permissions and how that they impact or assist agents in their workflow. Okay. So I'm going to start with the master admin. Master admins have global permissions over all data in the system. So everything, including all global settings. So that's for all locations. So they can see all transactions, all docs, everything related to locations. Additionally, let me hop over to Pipeline here. Additionally, they've got the ability to, from admin, manage all global company settings. Okay, so because they oversee all locations, they can actually change these settings which impact all locations. Location admins, which we'll talk about in a moment, can only impact permissions that are specific to their location, and a couple of other permissions that you're able to set, but generally not these, because these are again global settings that impact them all. So only a master admin can change these. So you want to be sure, given this global level of permissions, that whoever is a master admin on the account has been properly trained, so that they know the impact of making any of these changes. Okay. Master admins can also change several or have several other exclusive functions, and they're all listed here on the help site article that explains master admin permissions. And you can get there by going to our help site and then typing in master, and it'll pop up an option to see this particular article. But really I wanted to highlight mostly a few particular permissions that an agent has. Namely, again, these setup permissions, those global settings that are under admin. So those are exclusive to a master admin being able to do, okay? All of these. Addition, they can delete transactions. They can change locations of existing transactions, and they can request the cancellation of the entire account. So those are the few that I wanted to highlight. But again, that entire list is exclusive of what master admins only can do, okay? And just note that master admins have ultimate accountability for the entire account. So that's in their domain. There can be as many master admins on an account as you need. If you need to add or remove master admins from an account, that can be done by either an existing master admin on the account or the business owner. And they just need to contact us via email from their Pipeline email address. Alrighty. So that's master admins. The next level of admins is the location admins. They have more limited permissions, and they can be set up actually within the manage users area of, let's go over here to manage users, of Pipeline. So a master admin can set up location admins, or other admins, if they've got the appropriate permission to do so, can set up location admins. Okay, so here, the way that you set up location admins is, let's go ahead and hop into somebody's account here, is by giving them the view all transactions permission for the location that you want them to be the admin in. Okay, so here for Ginger's team, for example, as long as this person has view all transactions for this location, that makes them an admin for that location. And what that means, or what that translates into, is several things. One is when a message is being sent from a transaction, it will put that person with that designation into this staff section. So that gives agents and other admins an easy way to just tick them off, or to click them, to identify that you want to send them this communication, this note or email. Okay, so easy routing to admins. Also, when I am on unassigned, the unassigned docs page, I'm able to view not just my unassigned docs, but when I'm an admin on a particular location, I can view my agent's docs or other users' docs who have that location listed as their primary location here. Okay, so right now, again, I can view my docs. I can view Rachel's because she's in my location, perhaps, etc. All these other people, right? And for me, since I'm a master admin, I can actually see, or if I've got permissions in all of these locations, I can actually see multiple locations or people's docs from multiple locations on this page. Okay, if I were only an admin on the Uptown office, for the Uptown office, then I'd only see the Uptown office docs from those agents that had that location. Okay, so it allows you to see those appropriate docs under unassigned docs and therefore manage them appropriately. So basically, these are the docs that I need to manage for my agents. Also, I can see all tasks. Let's hop back over to a transaction here. I can see all tasks on a transaction. So including, no matter their visibility. So as an admin, I can see all the tasks on a transaction, as well as I can see them under the tasks list as well, right? Also, but I can see both I can see both the more info section and the admin info section, or really what I'm trying to highlight here is the admin info section. As an admin, I can see the admin info section of transactions, and that's where you store confidential information that you only want admins to see, okay? And then last two things are I can see all docs. Since all admins can see all docs no matter their permission category, I'm able to see all docs on the transactions that I can see. Okay. And then lastly, as an admin, I can view, given that permission to view all transactions, I can view all transactions, which is appropriate when I need to be able to manage those transactions for the agents, or to manage them however I need to for my particular role. All right. And then kind of just stepping back for a second, recognizing that I can specify an admin for each location. I wanted to kind of reiterate what we talk about a lot during these webinars, and that is the ability to use locations to your advantage for groups, right? Locations are certainly appropriate for segmenting actual physical offices or physical locations. You've got a separate location for each. But really the primary function of locations is to segment your permissions, and you can do that to segment groups. So let's say I've got two groups, maybe Terry's group and Myra's group. I can create two locations, one for Terry and one for Myra. And then I can make Terry the admin of Terry's group and Myra the admin of Myra's group, right? So perfectly segment those permissions. And then as we saw on that user's account, again, you can give permissions by location. So in addition to this view all transactions permission, which makes someone an admin, I can also specify what other permissions they've got within a location. So maybe this agent is able to upload docs and assign docs, etc. And maybe for the admin, they're able to do all of those things, etc. So again, locations are ideal for being able to segment your groups and then give them appropriate permissions for each group. All right. So that's location admin. So we've had master admins and location admins. The third type of admin doesn't actually have to do with permissions. It has to do with giving agents a point of contact for a particular location, and that's called a primary location admin. The way that you designate a primary location admin, under make this user the primary admin for this location, you would check that. So if let's pretend this is Ginger right here, right? This is Ginger's profile. For Ginger's profile, I would put her in the primary location of Ginger's team, and I would make her the primary admin for this location, as well as give her view all transactions permission, right? Now, the ability to make somebody a primary admin is completely independent from whether you've made them an admin of the location or not, right? So someone could be a location admin and not be the primary contact or the primary administrator for this location. That's perfectly fine. Or someone could be the primary location admin and technically not have view all transactions permission, not be an actual admin. We typically don't see that because usually when you make someone the primary admin or the primary point of contact, you'd also make them a location admin so they could see all the transactions and help whoever's actually contacting them. But again, they are independent. With an emphasis again on this being the person who needs to be contacted, and the way that happens is two ways. One, when an agent goes to their dashboard, on their dashboard they'll have contact information. One is for the admin and support person, and then if there is a primary admin for the location, there'll be a location support for that particular location. So they'll have 2 points of support information that they can contact. So having that primary location admin gives them a more finite or more specific person that they can contact for their specific location needs. Okay. And then the second way is whenever a message is sent from a transaction, The from will be the primary contact, right? So that way when, let's say, an agent responds or replies to that message, it'll automatically go to the right person. Okay, so those are the two things to keep in mind when you are setting up your primary admin for a particular location. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's all we've got for today.